Well, hello, beautiful, brave warriors of the internet. Wood here from Rising Phoenix. So, I want to talk to you all today about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? In a positive way to deal with stress and process your emotions, yet recognize them not only in yourself, but in others. Your emotional intelligence will affect 4 things in your life. The first is your physical health. It can affect your blood pressure, it can increase your blood pressure, it can decrease your immune system. It could put you in a higher category for heart attacks or strokes. It increases the aging process. It will also increase infertility. Another way that it affects you is your mental health. It will put you in a higher risk category of depression and anxiety, which could have an impact on the next category that I want to talk about, which is your relationships. If you're not in tune with your emotional intelligence, you may struggle in your relationships, whether they're in your work environment or in your personal environment. One thing that emotional intelligence can do is it can build strong relationships, and it'll also allow you to communicate effectively. The last thing that emotional intelligence can affect is your social relationships. One thing about being in tune with your emotional intelligence is it will really allow you to connect with your feelings as well as others. But you're going to be able to interact and communicate better. And because you're in tune with your feelings, you're going to have a pretty darn good idea if somebody is into you or not, because you're going to be able to figure out their body gestures, how they are reacting to the conversation that you're having with them, etc. You're also going to be able to pick up any toxicity that's transpiring with that other individual. So it's good. It's good. It kind of saves you in a way from a little bit of heartbreak so that you can be happy in life. What is the most important things that you need to know in order to improve it? I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can improve your emotional intelligence. Number 1, self-awareness. It's something that I've been working on for a couple of years now. And that is the roots of emotional intelligence. You need to be aware of your feelings. You need to be aware of your strengths and weaknesses. Now, before I was just going on about my day, going on about my life, and I'm not going to say I didn't give a shit about emotional intelligence. I never really thought about it. I never really was aware of why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I didn't process anything. I went from 0 to 100, whether I was really upset or angry, sad, whatever the case may be. I didn't sit and be uncomfortable in those feelings. I didn't talk to anybody about how I was feeling. And this is huge because all that stuff is just sort of sitting there, right? It's just sitting there. And if you're not able to release it, this is when it's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your physical health, your relationships, your social relationships. It affects your whole life. It affects everything in your life. So the next tip number 2 would be know your triggers. Now, I sure as shit didn't know my triggers a couple of years ago. I had no idea. Unless it was clear and evident, right in my face, perhaps I would pick up on the fact that I don't like this. What this is going to do, it's going to help you respond better in situations. So this is what I try to work on. If something is said by another person and I react pissed off, I didn't like what they said, then I have to think to myself, I'm going to take a moment and pause. I'm not going to be impulsive. Take more time. It's not something that has to be done right away or respond to right away. The whole idea here is to be in tune with what you're feeling. By doing that, you're going to know why you're feeling the way you are and what triggered you, so that if the situation happens again, you'll be like, aha, this person is saying the same thing that this other individual said to me, and I'm reacting the same way. And why am I reacting that way? Because this is what happened in my past, and it's a past behavior that I've grown up with my entire life, and that's how I react to that particular situation. That's how I react to that trigger. Does that make sense? It's really being aware of what's going on around you. The next one is pretty important, and that is empathy. Now, if you're having a debate, or if you're having an argument with an individual, or you're not seeing eye to eye, whether you're at work or you're at home or whatever the case may be, if you haven't taken a minute to just be in that other person's shoes, to listen, to actively listen and look at their body gestures and how they are moving, how they are sitting, how they are talking to you, like really being in tune with the individual. By being connected to that person and actively listening and really paying attention, it allows you to have an idea as to what that person's values and goals are, so that you can better understand them. And that boils down to communication, really good communication. But in order to have that good communication, these are the tips that you need to follow. Number 4 is listen to your gut. Now, this is something that I experienced when I got really sick, maybe 2.5 years ago. I get really bad tummy pains, like pretty much like I ate something and it's really not agreeing with me, and it's really upset my stomach. Really bad gas pains. Or I'll get headaches. My body's going to react. My body's going to say, hey, Chris, guess what? You're not paying attention. The first week I was in treatment, January of 2019, I had this freaking headache, and it just wouldn't go away. It didn't matter if I took Tylenol and then ibuprofen, codeine, like nothing was working. And I had that for the entire week. My body was processing all this shit that I've had buried down for so many years, and it's starting to come out. I was literally fighting my emotions, guys. That's what I was doing. I was packing everything down, and I was still doing that. So my body said, you know what? We're gonna take over, and this is what we're gonna do to you, which is awesome. In one way, because it's telling you, hey, you need to take care of yourself. The last tip is owning it. Owning your emotions. Owning that feeling. Being in that feeling, that uncomfortable bag of shit, it's really important to take ownership of your feelings. And it's not only important to take ownership of your feelings, but how you react to others. It is possible, guys. It's possible to change your state. It is possible to work on being more positive, being more motivated. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy. Shit, this isn't easy. Sometimes I would have rather have not had a bloody clue of why I was feeling the way I was, and I just continued on about my life. But the problem with that, I developed PTSD, depression, and anxiety. I lost a lot of weight. I wasn't eating properly. My body was a mess. I was a mess. My mental, my physical, my relationships, my social relationships, everything was a freaking mess because I wasn't paying attention. So it will catch up to you. There's no doubt that it's going to catch up to you. So really, it's a process. And it could be so frustrating because it's not something that you're able to manage in a day. And really, who the hell wants to be in these feelings and try to process them? It's possible, just one step at a time. And at the end of the day, guys, if you do this, if you work on this every day, and you're not gonna have great days, and you're not gonna have shitty days all the time. I mean, it's gonna be like a roller coaster, and that's something to be accepted. Taking 3 steps forward, 10 steps back, it's gonna happen. But the thing you need to be aware of is that you are still moving, and not shelving those emotions. You are dealing with them one by one. Being able to recognize how you feel, being able to process and channel how you're feeling and those processed emotions to others that you care about is going to be a huge benefit, not only for you, but for anyone in your personal life and anyone in your work environment. If you got anything out of this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.